Hi guys, thanks for joining me on the first ever Pebbles Paleo YouTube video. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making magnesium body butter. What a lot of people don't realize is that studies have shown that over 80% of the population in today's world is deficient on magnesium. Magnesium actually helps you to absorb vitamin D, so a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D as well. So magnesium body butter is a great way to supplement your magnesium. And actually it's easier for your body to absorb magnesium through your skin. It's hard to absorb it in your digestive tract, so that's the reason that I use magnesium body butter, to more easily absorb it. Just went to the doctor recently and found out that I was a little bit low in vitamin D. So I've been using this a lot lately actually, and I do rub it on my kids' feet at night. It helps them to relax and calm down before bedtime. So first what I'm going to do to get started on making this, I've actually already added about 3.5 tablespoons of water in with 1/4 of a cup of magnesium chloride salts. And you want to dissolve the salts. In the next step, I'm going to be mixing this up with the rest of the ingredients slowly. So you want to make sure that it's all the way dissolved. If you have any salt in there that's not dissolved, it's going to cause your magnesium body to butter to be a little bit gritty, and we don't want that. So just make sure it all the way dissolves for you. So I'm going to let that sit and dissolve more. This recipe that I'm using actually can be found on the website wellnessmama.com. She has lots of recipes on there for different healthcare products, natural beauty products that you can make yourself. I don't have a lot of time to do it, but this is one of the recipes that I've enjoyed making before. So, and I do make a couple of swaps in the recipe. Her recipe calls for coconut oil, and personally, coconut oil seems to dry out my skin, so instead of coconut oil, I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil feels really good on my skin, is very moisturizing, and my skin tends to get a little bit drier in the wintertime, so I'm going to use olive oil this time.
There you
go. Okay, so the first step is I'm going to melt down my 3 ingredients, my 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I have 2 tablespoons of white beeswax. You could also use yellow beeswax. And I have 3 tablespoons of shea butter. I have this beautiful shea butter that I ordered on Amazon. It's unrefined raw shea butter. So you want to try to get the best quality that you can for the ingredients. So I'm going to go over to this glass mason jar, and I have it on medium heat. I've got about 1 inch of water in the pan. So this is going to help melt all the ingredients together. So I've got the olive oil, got the beeswax here. And then I'm going to add the shea butter. I'm actually going to use my fingers in this part. Don't want it to fall into the water. And then if you have a little bit on your fingers, you can use it to moisturize your hands. Alrighty, so I'm going to melt all of this together here. This should take a few minutes to melt, and then I'm going to go ahead and once it's melted, I'm going to pour it into this bowl right here. After it sits in the bowl, it's going to start to get like an opaque look to it instead of translucent. Once it's opaque, it's turned opaque, that's when we're going to add the magnesium oil to it. So it'll take a little while for it to sit. So we'll let it sit for a while after it melts, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so it's been about 10 or 15 minutes. I think so. I don't know. I didn't keep track of time. But 10 or 15 minutes since I put the mixture into this bowl. It is opaque now, so I'm ready to blend it up and add my magnesium oil. Now, this part is crucial. If you don't add your magnesium oil slowly, it's not going to emulsify. So you want to just act like you're making mayonnaise or something. You want to add it one drop at a time to start and get it really emulsified and blended up. Go ahead and start blending it now. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to add my lavender essential oil into the magnesium body butter. I'm going to add about 5 drops. One more. Actually, that was 2 more, but that's okay. I love lavender oil. Okay, so now I'm going to just mix this up really good. About 15 minutes since we put the magnesium body butter in the fridge, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out and whip it up a little bit and get it nice and creamy so I can package it. All right, looks like it's ready to get mixed up. Okay, so I've blended it up and it's actually really thick now. So I'm going to use just a small spoon to get it into this jar. If you want it to be not so thick, you can use a little bit less beeswax in the recipe. The recipe actually called for 2 tablespoons of beeswax, but technically I used a little bit less. And it's still a little bit thick, so I think that next time I would maybe use like a teaspoon and a quarter of the beeswax. Just depends on how thick you like it. Plus, if you're making this in the summertime, when you're storing it, it's already gonna be a little bit more liquid, softer, so this actually might be the right ratio for the summertime. All right, so the magnesium body butter is done. I'm actually just going to grab a paper towel, wipe down this jar a little bit. And that's ready to give to one of my girlfriends. They're gonna love it. So if you've never worked with magnesium before, the first time you use magnesium body butter or just magnesium oil, if you make that, it's probably gonna sting a little bit. It took me a few times using magnesium before it stopped stinging. The more you use it, the more your skin will get used to it and your body will get used to it and it'll stop stinging so much. Of course, I've got eczema on my hands, so I try to keep it away from my hands as much as possible because a lot of times I've got cuts on my hands, which it kind of stings. So just keep it away from any open cuts. And I had a great time making this recipe for you today and showing you how to make magnesium body butter. If you're interested in more recipes, both beauty products and food, I love to cook, then subscribe to my channel. I'll have a lot more to come. The channel is pebblepaleos.com. Subscribe to that and you can like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me today.